Many people associated with both Dr. Kim Tidwell and Dr. Boris Gomelsky wish to be a part of this video, but due to time constraints and conflicts in scheduling, we were not able to meet up in time for the production of this video. All wish for a happy retirement for both gentlemen and wish the best in all their future endeavors. Dr. Kim Tidwell has 35.5 years of service. He started out as an adjunct professor at the Department of Animal Sciences at University of Kentucky, adjunct professor, Department of Biology, Kentucky State University, Community Research Service Program, Kentucky State University, principal investigator for aquaculture, and Program Area Coordinator, Aquaculture and Natural Resources. Between 1999 and 2004, he was the coordinator of aquaculture programs, research, extension, and academics. He was also professor of the aquaculture program at Kentucky State University and adjunct professor at the Department of Animal Sciences at the University of Kentucky. From 2004 to 2005, he was interim chair of the Division of Aquaculture at Kentucky State University. In 2005 to present, he's been the chair of the School of Aquaculture and Aquatic Sciences at Kentucky State University. Dr. Kim Tidwell's publications include 3 books including Freshwater Prawn Biology and Farming, Aquaculture Production Systems, and Largemouth Bass Aquaculture. He has also authored 26 book chapters and 142 journal publications. Dr. Boris Gomelsky has 25 years of service. Starting in 1977, he was at the All-Union USSR Research Institute of Pond Fish Culture in Moscow, Providence, Russia. In 1992, he joined the Fish and Aquaculture Research Station in Dor, Israel. And then in 1997, he came to Kentucky State University as professor of fish genetics and reproduction at the School of Aquaculture and Aquatic Sciences. Dr. Boris Gomelsky's publications include 4 books: Fish Genetics, Theory and Practice, which has been published in both English and Russian, Artificial Ploidy in Fish, Koi Genetics, and Koi Artificial Breeding. He also has 7 book chapters and 70 journal publications. Dr. Kim Tidwell has had 23 graduate students over the course of his tenure at Kentucky State University. And Dr. Boris Gomelsky has had 10 graduate students during his time at Kentucky State University. Dr. Carl Webster. What few people may realize, since it happened a couple of years ago, is that when Kim was hired at Kentucky State University, the Aquaculture Center you see today did not exist. When Kim arrived, there were literally a handful of personnel. I believe Michael Kramer, Stephen Mims, and Daniel Yancey come to mind. I'm not sure if Richard Knob was there at the time or hired later. Carla Johnson might have been hired soon after Kim arrived. He would be able to more accurately state who was there when he first arrived. The facilities were the hatchery building and possibly the pole barn office building. The ponds had been constructed, but they leaked, so they had to be completely redone and refurbished. That was it. All that you people see today was due to Kim, either directly through his vision of what the center required, or listening to others who offered proposed construction and research needs for the future of the center. Kentucky State University has one of the premier aquaculture, research, extension, outreach, and teaching centers in the world due to Kim's guidance, leadership, and vision. Since his arrival at KSU, there has been many aquaculture programs in the U.S. that have ceased to exist. Changing times, altering priorities, and financial conflicts and constraints have all contributed to a reduction in the number of institutions that offer aquaculture curricula and research programs. However, KSU has continued to thrive and expand. This accomplishment cannot be overstated in its importance. This nation needs aquaculture research and teaching institutions if it is to compete with the global aquaculture industry, and KSU is certainly a bright star in an oft-darkened sky. So as Jim often sets on the new path, I wish him all the best. Much love and happiness, and 100 lifetimes of fun. It is much deserved reward for all the years of dedication, planning, and sacrifice you have given to the nation, Kentucky, Kentucky State University, and the Aquaculture Research Center. I'm sure I messed the official name up, but that is what we call ourselves back in the day. Carl Webster.
Hey, I just wanted to say congratulations to Dr. Tidwell for a very productive and exceptional career here at the Kentucky State University School of Aquaculture and Aquatic Sciences. I think Dr. Tidwell's really been essentially the father of this program, created it and helped create it. Of course, I'm sure, I know that a lot of people have helped him along the way. But he's been a steadfast leader the whole time, and I can speak for at least the last 8.5 years. It's been a pleasure to work with him. It's been a pleasure to work for him. To me, Jim is not only a boss, certainly he is a good boss. He's a good leader in that he can evenly and fairly divide out resources and objectives to people, and he's always available. He's always approachable, which is not the case with a lot of bosses. I've had quite a few over the years, and I'd say he is in the top 2 at least, if not the best. But more than that, he's been also a colleague. You know, when we're sitting around a table or a desk or maybe at a bar somewhere, I don't know. It's happened once or twice. You know, he's a colleague that I can talk to about my research and about my ideas and professional issues. Further than that, he's also been a friend, somebody who I can talk to about even personal things and family and challenges and other more personal issues of that nature. So, you know, I think he's really a solid part of this program, and we're gonna lose a lot, of course, when he retires. Of course, hopefully he can come back soon as an emeritus professor or something of that sort. But he's really set the ball in motion, so to speak, in this productive program that's been created both academically and scientifically, well, and even on the research side of things. On the extension side of things as well. We've been able to help a lot of farmers here. And yeah, I just wanted to say that I've modeled a lot of my personal career around some of the guidance that he's given me, trying to be approachable and trying to deal with people in an approachable and and kind and fair way, and always trying to be a good listener and a good boss myself. And he's been a really good role model in that way. And I just want to say, wish him the absolute best in retirement. Certainly well deserved, and hopefully he can relax a little bit and take care of anything that he'd like to on a personal level and otherwise.
Dr. Tidwell, best boss I ever had. Dr. Tidwell, thank you for all the support on both personal and professional levels during these years. Enjoy your free time with your loved ones and keep the fire pit going. All the best. Sincerely, Dr. Rossi. Dr. Gomelsky, it has been a pleasure working with you at the Aquaculture Research Center. Thanks for being a good friend and for all the advice and tips. Although I think you should stay and work 10 more years with us, I understand you want to enjoy your retirement from Kentucky State University and the KGB. My best wishes and keep in touch. Sincerely, Dr. Rossi.
You did it. Congratulations, Dr. Gomelsky. It seems like yesterday when I was at Kentucky, you have played an important part in my life. Thanks to you, I became a professor. And probably among all the professors at Kentucky State University, you have the highest numbers of graduates that pursue a PhD. You have been an excellent example of a researcher and professor. I will always remember your smile and positivism. Now it's time for you to watch soccer the whole day and relax and enjoy your family. You deserve it. Hey, Dr. Tidwell, it is time to leave the boat that you have been sailing for all this time. You kept the boat afloat even during those severe storms. You and your team put the name of Kentucky State University as one of the best, or if you ask me, the best aquaculture program in the United States. Job well done. Enjoy your retirement.
James Tidwell, Dr. James Tidwell, Jim Tidwell, Jimmy Tidwell, or is it a Kenny Rogers sighting? A little history. I met Jim in the early 90s when John Foster, then the chief of Dudley's Restaurant in Lexington, invited me to join him to tour Kentucky State University's Aquaculture Research Center. John wanted me to produce a new product coming on the culinary scene, freshwater shrimp. Even though Dr. Tidwell said he didn't need any more field trial participants, I knew he was wrong, and he's seldom wrong. He did need at least one more, and I also knew I couldn't get into production without the hand-holding from KSU. Hence the spawning of Bubba Sue and a wonderful working relationship and friendship with Jim, the Tidwell family, Sean, Carla, Sid, Forrest, Dr. Benson, and so many, many more through KSU Aquaculture. With Dr. Benson's big picture leadership and Jim's steady development of the aquaculture curriculum, research, development, and demonstrations all helped to open so many relationships and opportunities through Kentucky State University's Third Thursday thing with Marion Simon and Max Stone, Kentucky Aquaculture Association with Marshall Taylor and Stephen Price, Partners for Family Farms with Sue Went, the Kentucky Department of Agriculture with James Mansfield and Angela Caparelli, the Commodity Growers Cooperative with Karen Armstrong Cummings and Wendell Berry, and the Kentucky Ag Development Board with Governor Paul Patton. I can't give Jim credit for all of the great work and opportunities that came from all those organizations, but I do give him credit for always being a kind, informative voice of reason and integrity that represented KSU and the aquaculture industry in a very professional, informative, and honest manner. In that Alabama kind of way of his, you certainly helped open my world, and just think of the students and colleagues whose lives you've gifted. So what's next, Jimmy? XO, Bubba Sue.
I just wanted to take this opportunity to congratulate Dr. Gomelsky on a productive and very highly esteemed career. I didn't really know much about him before I came here, actually, but when I was finishing my dissertation work, my PhD, and I was finishing my postdoc actually at the time. One of my former committee members, Eric Seance, had told me about Gomelsky, Dr. Gomelsky, when I mentioned to him that I was coming here to KSU, and so Dr. Gomelsky's reputation really preceded him, you know. Dr. Seance, a fish geneticist as well, and had a lot of wonderful things to say about Dr. Gomelsky, and was very excited about the fact that I was coming here to work with him. And then Dr. Gomelsky was actually the chair of my hiring committee, so he's a big part of the reason that I'm here to begin with. And he's really imparted a lot of knowledge to me personally and to this aquaculture program. It's probably not a lot of people know this, but in our faculty meetings, Dr. Gomelsky is a really valuable resource in terms of information and guidance, and a lot of the procedural issues that happen in the university in terms of forming committees and the roles that they play, and faculty senate issues and professional collegial governance types of issues. He's a real leader in that, not to mention being a world leader in fish genetics, which of course I don't live in that world quite as much, but he certainly has a stellar reputation there as well. And so just wanted to say thank you to him for all the guidance and professionalism, and being a great colleague over the years. I've gained a lot by just simply working with him and being in his presence here at the Aquaculture Center, and I know he's contributed a tremendous amount to this program, and we're going to hopefully build on that and keep a lot of that going, and it'll continue on into the future because of his hard work. And I just want to say congratulations to Dr. Gomelsky, and wish you the best. Enjoy the grandchildren in retirement. I hope you do. So, thanks.
Jim, welcome to the retirement club. I don't know where the time has gone. I can remember being out by the research ponds, thinking around 1987 or 88, and seeing a young man and his wife looking around our research tanks and ponds. Someone said, "I think that is one of the guys looking to fill the principal investigator position." At the time, I never would have thought that we would end up working over 30 years together. We have seen a program grow from a facility that only had one building, 2 or 3 visitors a month, no graduate program, and only 2 fish species being studied, to a program that now has numerous buildings, at least 2 or 3 visitors a day, a graduate program, and more fish species than I can count on my fingers. All things to certainly be proud of. Congratulations, and take some time to just relax before continuing on your next journey in life. Take care and best of luck. Danny. Boris, congratulations on your retirement. I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to get to know you and have enjoyed working with you throughout the years. I think everyone has always had at least one mentioning that sticks out more than any others. And the memory that definitely sticks out to me while working with you was back in 1998. You had only been employed here a short time and were on your way to Louisville, Kentucky when your truck broke down due to something with the battery. You called me to come and see if I could help you out. To make a long story short, I remember we both ended up being stuck out on I-64 for hours trying to find a time when the traffic would slow down enough to where I could swing the front of my truck in front of yours in order to jump it off. It's one of those things that was awful at the time, but one that I'll never forget. Something we can laugh about now. Again, congratulations, and I hope that you have an opportunity to relax and enjoy your retirement. Best of luck, Danny.
Hello, my name is Chelsea Walling. I'm a K-12 Aquaculture Extension Associate, and I've worked with Dr. Tidwell for 8 years. I was blessed to have Dr. Tidwell as my major professor while completing my master's degree, and he was right beside me as I broke down my thesis trial with words of encouragement and slimy hands. Dr. Tidwell has always been a champion for his students, and I will remember the smile on his face on those harvest days as he donned his waders and jumped right in. His dedication to the advancement of the aquaculture industry is unparalleled, and his leadership will continue to have a profound impact on my life forever. Thank you for all of the laughter, love, and life lessons. You have changed the trajectory of so many lives, and I'm so grateful that I can say that I am one of them. We love you, Dr. Tidwell. Congratulations on your retirement.
First, I want to congratulate Jim on his over 35 years of working for Kentucky State University. That's quite an accomplishment. I started working with Jim in 1987. I'll never forget the day he was touring the office and heard his thick Southern accent and thought he was joking, but that was just Jim being Jim. It took us a while to figure each other out, but after days, weeks, months, and years of working together, we were able to finish each other's thoughts. I feel like the years we worked together were some of my best years, and my favorite part was working with our students. Never a dull moment. I hope you can now relax and enjoy the next chapter of your life, spending time with your family and friends, but especially your adorable grandson. Congratulations again. I'm sure you will be greatly missed.
Hello, my name is Noel Novello. I am part of the faculty of the School of Aquaculture and Aquatic Sciences here at Kentucky State University. It is truly an honor and pleasure to speak to you all today, especially to Dr. Gomelsky upon his retirement. I have known Dr. Gomelsky for more than 21 years. He was a mentor and my major professor to me starting in 2002, and currently he has been a colleague and a friend. We have worked a lot together throughout the years, spawning koi and more recently tilapia, and he has always been kind, considerate, steadfast, and a good man. Dr. Gomelsky, you have immensely influenced my path in academics and my personal life. You have always been there to listen. You've been kind and steadfast in your support for me and all of those other students and people that have worked with you. So together with them, I would like to wish you and your family the best in the future as you go forward.
It has been a great relationship and friendship with Dr. Tidwell. I first met him in 1995 when I had read an article that he had written about freshwater prawns in the temperate climate. I decided to give it a try. 2 ponds were dug and the first harvest was in 1996. Dr. Tidwell helped me through every step to produce the prawns. He would always take my calls and answer any questions that I had. He made several trips to my farm in those early days to help with the harvest since I had no experience in aquaculture. He was very knowledgeable in his profession, from helping local producers to the president of the World Aquaculture Association. I am wishing him all the best in his retirement. He will be greatly missed. Dan Moreland.
Jim, Laura Tew here. Congratulations on your retirement. Some of us thought it might never happen. I'm sure I'm one of the old timers from your past, because I've known you since 1990. So I've known you for 33 years. You were fairly fresh out of your PhD studies at Mississippi State University, and I came along a couple of years later after my master's at Mississippi State University. At the time, it was just you and Carl Webster running the show. We were a wonderful little team there, and that's one of the things that I'll always remember about you is just how much you always stressed great teamwork and how much I learned from you because of that. You and Carl both were always so encouraging about getting us to do professional presentations, go to meetings. Everybody was included on all the publications. And that meant so much to me then and really helped boost my career. You're one of the best mentors I ever had. Those were some pretty lean times back then. That was even before email. I remember when we all got our first emails, and I remember how excited we were when we got a fax machine in our office, so we didn't have to run back and forth to campus all the time. Carla enjoyed that as well, but those were the good times. They continued on as the program grew underneath your leadership. Dr. Mims came back, and we added Dr. Gomelsky and others to the team. And it just kept growing and growing. And I really attribute a lot of that to your vision. You always had a knack for getting the job done. One of my favorite stories about you was we were complaining one time about two of the staff that were always doing all their work together. They never worked independently. They were always together. And some of us didn't quite like that. And you told me, you said, I don't care if they come to work in pink tutus, as long as they get the job done. It's not my job to direct them how they do it. So I've kept that in the back of my mind as I've grown and become a leader within my own organization, that it's really about getting the job done, not how people get the job done. So that was part of your ability of being a great boss and a visionary. The thing that I'll end with is that you also were way more than a boss. We also became lifelong friends over the process. And that's just another one of your gifts, is becoming friends and being a friend to the people who work with you and for you. So I wish you all the best in your retirement. I'm sure I'll be seeing you soon. And maybe in a few years, I'll travel down that same path myself. So all my love and all my best. Congratulations. And Boris, I heard you're retiring as well. So best of luck to you and Natasha. I hope our paths will pass again in the future. Thank you so much for having me. See you later.
Sean Coyle. It was a pleasure working with you both, Dr. Tidwell and Dr. Gomelsky. Best wishes from Florida.
My time with Dr. Gomelsky was very insightful. He taught me a lot about fish genetics, but he also taught me a lot about how to be a scientist. He taught me a lot about how to approach problems in a scientific way where you can actually solve them without getting frustrated. Taught me patience. That was one thing that I really do need to work on, and that he really helped me with. Obviously I met my fiance in his lab, so I mean, I have that to thank him for as well. He really respected my independence in the lab, and he respected my previous skills that I had acquired at different jobs, and let me tackle problems on my own. That was something that was really nice. He was hands-on when he wanted to be. It was his lab. He was, he had every right to, but he was very hands-off as well. And he let people make their own mistakes and learn from them. He also, I really appreciated that he gave me a challenge with my thesis after I was done with working with the scar markers. He saw that I was able to tackle that really easily, and he gave me the SNPs assignment, and that was a lot more fun than the scar, and it was a lot more challenging, and I really enjoyed that. It's been an honor being his grad student. I was his last grad student, as far as I know. I hope that you enjoy your retirement. I know sometimes scientists say that they want to retire, but they are scientists, and they always want to learn. They always want to work on things. But I hope you enjoy your retirement. Thank you for everything that you did for me and for Brandolin. try to relax and, maybe get yourself a koi pond and enjoy that.
Dr. Tidwell, congratulations on your retirement. May your retirement be as remarkable as your achievements in the aquaculture industry have been. Best wishes. Dr. Gomelsky, congratulations on your retirement. KSU is very lucky to have your expertise. Enjoy this next chapter. Barb Willem.
Well, it's been a long road, but for Dr. Tidwell, especially and myself, I was introduced to Dr. Tidwell during my interview for my position as aquaculture coordinator for Kentucky Department of Ag. And at the time, I was weighing through my options of either staying on the East Coast or coming to the Midwest, because for me, Kentucky was the Midwest. He shook my hand and he said, "I'm Jim." And I was struck by his presence of "I'm Jim." And that phrase would be heard and said thousands of times over the following 22, 23 years as a local, national, and international guests were hosted by the KSU Aquaculture program. And it always makes me smile. I'm Jim. It always makes me smile. That smile is due to the knowledge of being in the presence of one of the world's best known aquaculture program leaders, but yet a man that's humble, a man that was a great mentor, a man that's seen change, success, and tragedy, and yet survived with such dignity and valor to continue on to put family first and students, staff, and faculty, co-workers right up there with them. I always felt at home at Jim's. He opened his home and his family to all of us that were lucky enough to work with him. He's built and maintained one of the top aquaculture programs in the world in a small slice of land that sits in the middle of the capital city of Frankfort in Kentucky that most people in Kentucky don't even know exists, but the world does. And the world of aquaculture knows Dr. Tidwell, or as he would say, that's Jim. And thanks, Jim, for being such a great mentor and allowing me to introduce you as my friend, Jim. Dr. Gomelsky also, what an important role in the aquaculture program. And as of all the teachers I've had, especially being the longest grad student at KSU, he taught me how to learn. His systemology of teaching and the way he helped me just think better has helped me forward my career in aquaculture. And I have both those great mentors and men to thank for my success. Thank you, Dr. Tidwell, and thank you, Dr. Gomelsky, for all your help, mentoring, and dedication to such a world-renowned program. Thanks, guys. You'll be missed in aquaculture, but hopefully you won't be forgotten, and you'll always be seen as friends. Thank you.
Ahmed Al-Sakofi. To my inspiring teacher and father who welcomed me, my ambition, and believed in my abilities from day one, I will never forget how he taught me to overcome all challenges and difficulties. I will not forget that he is the one who taught me the basics of scientific research and instilled in me the love of searching for knowledge. Dr. Gomelsky, your continuous encouragement is what got me to where I am now. Associate Professor of Aquaculture Genetics, Dean of the College of Agriculture and Food Sciences at King Faisal University, and a consultant to a number of agencies. Thank you, and I will remain grateful to you with my wishes for permanent health.
I am Christy Allen. I spent 7 years at Kentucky State University, starting in 2014, I believe. And I visited Kentucky State University in 2013 for the first time and decided that I wanted to get my master's there. And part of the reason that I decided that was because of Dr. Tidwell and how comfortable he made me feel by telling me stories and just being honest. And that's partly what led me to start school at Kentucky State University. When I first started there, I was able to work alongside him and Leanne Bright on some of his experiments. And that got me even more excited about starting my master's. And then once I was almost finished with my master's, I was offered a position there at Kentucky State University to work in the nutrition department. And I gladly took that. And I was able to continue to work alongside Dr. Tidwell and help him in his lab. And one of my favorite stories with Dr. Tidwell is how Leanne always said that she thought it was so funny we would get together because our Alabama accents just got stronger when we were together. I always looked up to Dr. Tidwell as a great leader, and he was always with problems or anything that I was excited about, and he was always encouraging and was always supportive. So congratulations on your retirement, Dr. Tidwell, and I wish you the greatest happiness from here on out.
Dr. Gomelsky, thank you for sharing your photo album with me and telling me all about your travels. I loved all of the koi stories. Best wishes to you and your retirement. Heather Luck. Dr. Tidwell, thank you for taking me in when HR just threw me into your department and made you my supervisor out of the blue. What a fun adventure. I'll never forget everything you did for me, from helping me fix my car more than once, to offering to help me get to Michigan when my nephew suddenly passed. You are not just an amazing supervisor, but an even more amazing human. I wish you all the best in your retirement, if you are really retiring this time. Heather Luck.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey Warner. I'm a Research and Extension Associate under Dr. Boris Gomelsky, emphasizing in fish genetics and reproduction. I've worked with Dr. Gomelsky for almost 7 years, and he was my major professor for the first 3 years I was here. Then I went to work at UK for a little bit and came back and has been working for him for also another 3 years or so. It's like it all started back in 2013 when I had actually came up here for a tour from Gadsden State Community College, and I toured aquaculture facility here, and I got to talk to Dr. Gomelsky and well, now Dr. Thomas Dolomis. At the time he was a grad student, and I got a feel for the program and the research that they were doing here. Then the next spring I actually went and saw them at WAS and got to really witness what their research was doing in aquaculture at KSU. So at that point I decided that my love for genetics and my love for fish, why not combine them both? And so I decided to do my master's program here at Kentucky State University and working under Dr. Gomelsky. While here, I quickly realized just how knowledgeable Dr. Gomelsky was. Not only that, but he was also genuinely funny and kind and all-around amazing person. Dr. Gomelsky has been one of the most influential people in my life, and he's by far the best supervisor, advisor, and mentor I could have ever asked for. His love and passion for research and koi is not only extremely apparent, but also is quite infectious. It's spurring my love for koi as a whole, and especially transparent koi. Oh, and of course, drawing fish blood. It's like from the beginning, he was a phenomenal mentor, not only from teaching me how to classify koi colorations, but also teaching me all the nitpicky of all the spawnings that we do. So he was always there with an infectious smile no matter what, and he was always there ready to listen if I ever had any kind of problems or needed some kind of brainstorming. Dr. Gomelsky was always there whenever we needed him for anything. So whether he was in the office, by the fish tanks, or covered in pond muck or fish blood, he was always there and ready to go. He was also the perfect amount of hands-off that allowed me to truly integrate and thrive in the inner workings of the systems, but also with koi, allowing me to properly problem solve all of our systems and research design, and if I couldn't figure anything out, he was always there ready to help me brainstorm. From the first time that I learned that Dr. Gomelsky was retiring, I knew I wasn't ready. Hell, I'm still not ready for it. For such a bittersweet occasion, I'm so happy for you and for your next chapter of your life. You truly deserve to sit back and relax. Thank you for being you, the best mentor, but also one of the most amazing people I know.
Dr. Dasgupta. Dr. Tidwell, I would like to thank you for hiring me at Kentucky State University Aquaculture back in 2001. I still remember having lunch with you on my interview day. You ate a salad and health-conscious me had a cheeseburger at Applebee's. In a way, I grew up at the KSU Aquaculture Research Center, and I sorely miss those days. I am still excited about freshwater prawns, and I'm grateful that you and Sean Coyle had worked hard to bring freshwater prawns into prominence, not only in Kentucky, but throughout the world. Dr. Gomelsky, I want to thank you for your friendship and all the kindness you have shown me. You have been a strength to me, and I shall forever be in your debt. Both these men are my friends, and I wish well and happy, healthy retirement. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Dr. Tidwell. I heard your future responsibilities are about to change. Wishing you all the best moving forward. I just want to congratulate you on ending your career as an influential figure, both in the aquaculture industry and in academia. You wore a lot of hats during your time in your position, but you always remained a great mentor for the students, including myself. As my major professor, I can say that you helped me out quite a bit, showing me a pathway forward. As a young professional, you're always there for a quick phone call or a letter of support, and I greatly appreciate that. Currently, even as an adjunct professor, I've modeled my courses after your learning environment in the classroom, and always at the end of the semester, I've been fortunate. Student feedback has been positive, with them always saying that it's been a challenge yet fair, and I definitely learned that in your classroom environment. You're always provided a challenge to students, but you're always fair about the way you did that. So thank you. Also, I just want to say, you did very well for preparing all my classmates for, leadership roles. I know many of them have moved on and have been very successful, all because of the KSU program. But, I just want to wish you well in retirement. I hope I hope that all your problems in the professional field currently become someone else's issues. And you can concentrate on being a father, grandfather, significant other in the coming years. At the moment, if you're ever in the Orlando area, feel free to reach out. Hopefully we can establish connections. And I owe you a meal. That one will be on me. Maybe in the further future, if you're ever out west, we can link up, cross paths. My girlfriend Christine and I are still investigating the schoolie and the converted bus scenarios for living a simpler life and moving out west in the future potentially. So maybe we can connect that way as well. So anyways, I just want to wish you the best and take care, sir. Dr. Gomelsky, good afternoon. Word on the street is you're retiring, and I wish you nothing but the best in the coming months and many years to come. Congrats on ending your career as an important figure at the KSU Aquaculture program, also as a scientist in the aquaculture industry. I teach a few classes, and I always bring up one of my experiences in your genetics class where maybe Dr. Mims had injected some paddlefish with hormone to induce spawning. The female didn't take it too well. She went belly up. You were quick to respond, though, and our class quickly shifted from some hands-on genetics to more of processing the paddlefish, collecting the caviar, and consuming it during the remaining part of the class. It's probably one of the most expensive meals I ever ate at KSU, and I appreciate you, allowing us to learn on the fly there how to make Russian caviar. You're very helpful as well in my process when I was trying to apply for K-1 visa at that time in my life. The process was successful, and much of it was to do with your insight and knowledge of the immigration system and everything at that time. If you're ever in the Orlando area, please feel free to reach out to me. I hope we can connect. I can share my contact information with you. I'd love to meet up, grab a meal, chat. That one's on me. I wish you all the best, sir. Happy retirement, and I hope we see each other again sooner rather than later.
I am very grateful for Dr. Gomelsky's mentorship during my time at Kentucky State University. I had no idea of the possibilities within the field of fish genetics and reproduction, and continue to appreciate the lessons I learned in his lab to this day. Dr. Gomelsky was one of the most kind professors I've ever encountered. He served as an excellent role model at a time when I needed it the most. I have very fond memories with him in an academic setting and also talking sports. I wish you and your family all the best in this next chapter. Kramer.
Dr. Tidwell, I heard through the grapevine that you're actually retiring, although I don't believe it. Just in case you actually are, I figured I'd say a few words. I know it's only a drop in the bucket in terms of your career and the amount of people you've influenced, but I always look back on the time that I spent at Kentucky State, and always know how much of a highly significant P is less than 0.05 impact that you had, on my life, both personally and professionally. You always made it feel like home there, and I think that's something that's really special. It's a great legacy. Even though I was 700 miles away, you still made it feel like home. So I appreciate that. The amount that I learned and experienced from you and all the amazing people that you had around you in the tribe, that's always going to leave such a positive impact on my life. And so, words can't express how much I appreciate that. And, to know that, we're all kind of standing on the shoulders of giants before us. I think it really speaks volumes to what you've done at Kentucky State. So, thank you for all that you have done and all that you will continue to do. And, I'd also like to throw an honorable mention out there. I think not everyone can say that they saw the transition of Jim from short-haired Jim to Leonard Skinner Jim. So, I appreciate that, and we'll always remember that. So don't work too hard in the retirement. Remember to enjoy yourself. Cheers and love you. Here's the cheers. All right.
Zach Kapinski. Jim, I just wanted to take this opportunity to wish you the very best retirement. It was an absolute privilege and an honor to work side by side with you during my graduate studies. Whether we were in the classroom, seining ponds, or just having a beer at a conference, I valued every minute we had together and soaked up every bit of knowledge and advice I could get from you. I knew I was learning from truly the best. You were by far the biggest reason I chose Kentucky State for graduate school. One of my first scientific papers I ever read and fully understood, titled To Conclusion, was one of your largemouth bass papers. I was immediately left with the sense that not only was this critical and interesting science, but also that I could do this. I wound up reading every paper I could find with your name on it and grew more interested in the Aquaculture Research Center in Frankfort, Kentucky, associated with all your research. You inspired me to come to Kentucky State University and participate in similar research. I applied with hopes of publishing a paper with you in the Journal of the World Aquaculture Society. Your aquaculture program was everything I was looking for. I even mildly embarrassed to admit, when I later came to an interview, I was a little starstruck when we first shook hands. With your mentorship and tutelage, we turned all my methods, data, and literature review into the very thing I set out to do when I came to Kentucky. Your brutally frank comments on my first draft of my thesis proposal were legendary. I recall you saying, "This reads like a damn high school term paper." I can laugh now, but still bear these scars. You are absolutely paramount in helping me blossom as a scientific writer. This paper will always be one of the highlights of my career. My parents still say to this day that the happiest they have ever seen me was during the 2 years I spent within the cozy confines of the Aquaculture Research Center at Kentucky State University. I have no doubt you have big plans for retirement. I'm sure being a full-time grandfather is right at the top of the list. Man, I just want to wish you all the best.
Dr. Tidwell, congratulations. Wow, I'm sure it's been a journey. I just want to say thank you for everything, and your program is literally an inspiration. I can only hope and strive to develop a program as great and diverse as K-State is, and really seeing the different programs. K-State is one of the top with just such a diversity in terms of like having all of the, main components of aquaculture with like disease, nutrition, hatchery production, RAS system. Like, it's got it all. It is literally the golden package, and I can only strive, and I'm just inspired by the work that you've done over the years, and literally you are the biggest inspiration, and I can only hope to get to that point one day. I always, I miss walking downtown and being able to see you. That's always a thought that goes through my head whenever I was downtown, was my chances of seeing Tidwell were highly likely. And usually I would bump into you and Laura, and it was an amazing time. I have a lot of awesome memories of dancing at Sig Lusher and just listening to the band and having just a really good time. And so I wish all of you guys the best. I look forward to visiting Kentucky and making more memories in the future. Dr. Gomelsky, congratulations. Well deserved, and you are literally the father of koi in my head. You are my go-to person about koi, and I really appreciate everything that you did for me and being on my committee and getting your professional opinion and advice. I wish you the best, and I hope that you have and get to build a really big koi pond in your backyard. I don't know if you already have one, but you should do it. And yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations, and that you are going to be definitely missed in the aquaculture program at Kentucky State University.
Dr. Tidwell, thank you for all the generosity you showed me and my family while in Kentucky. You are a diligent advisor and so willing to help me through my classes and thesis as a student. Equally as important, thank you for helping Shelby and I with Benedict. By bringing us Thanksgiving dinner only a couple of days after he was born, by opening up your home when our AC failed in the summer and our apartment was 85 degrees, making it so that we couldn't sleep there at night. None of that generosity is forgotten, and you played a large part in making Kentucky feel more like home while we were there. I am so thankful for your mentorship and support, and I wish you all the best in your retirement and all of the wildlife watching you'll be able to do. All the best, Andrew Lohman.
I'm Leanne Bright, and I have been part of the aquaculture family since 1994 and held many positions throughout the years. First, I was an undergrad, and then a graduate student, and then on to permanent full-time employment, which I am very, very grateful that I got to do. A lot of people don't get to stay someplace that they really love and where they feel like they're at home and with their family. And a lot of that is due to Dr. Tidwell. And so we're here today to wish him happy retirement and to tell him how much we appreciate him and how much he's meant to us and to the program and to the field of aquaculture. And, also let's not forget the stakeholders, the people that he really went out and helped and, really changed some lives in our area and made a positive impact. And I am so, so, so happy for him that he is finally at this point that I know he's been looking forward to, so he can enjoy his family and his grandson and maybe some more grands one day. And, Dr. Tidwell has really meant a lot to me. He has been a mentor. He has been a professor. He has been a friend. And I just can't say how much that has meant to me over the years. One thing that I appreciate about Jim more than anything is that as a leader, he always made us feel secure. We always knew where we stood with Jim. We always knew that the program was on the right course, that the sun was going to come out tomorrow, no matter how bad, things might have seemed with the political system and, turnover and power and things like that. And Jim just always really paved the way to just say, everything's going to be all right, everybody. And I think that that's one thing that a good leader does. And, for me personally, one thing that I will never, ever forget, and I think that to me, this really sums up who Jim is. In the middle of COVID, in the middle of a shutdown, unprecedented times, everybody was afraid. Everybody is, dealing with seclusion and isolation and just, something really scary and weird and unique. And, we were writing grants and we were trying to work from home. And, I would talk to Jim and he would say, "How's your mom?" And I think that really says who he is. He cares about us. He wanted everybody to be well. He wanted everybody to do well, wants everybody to succeed still. And I think he brought that to the ARC and to the field. And, if you just look at his works, just go look at his citation list and see what he's done and, the contribution that he's made. But anyway, so I am very, very happy for Jim Jim, if you can see this, I'm very, very happy for you and I'm excited for you. And I wish you all of the best. I wish you all of the happiness. And I just hope that, retirement is everything that you want and hope for it to be. Hi, Dr. Gomelsky. A happy retirement. Dr. Gomelsky was one of my professors, and he was on my thesis committee back in the day. And then I was fortunate enough to still get to work with him as I was a liaison with the students and the faculty. And so I'm just wishing him all the best. I hope that he has a wonderful, happy retirement, enjoying his family, and just all the best. And I am so, so glad that you were part of ARC and part of our family. Bye.
Dr. Tidwell, instead of saying happy retirement, I'd like to say happy graduation. It seems definitely more fitting considering we all know that you could never really truly leave aquaculture. I feel so happy and excited for you as you enter this new phase in your life. I'm not sure I can adequately put into words how grateful I am for having you as my mentor this past decade. One thing I am most grateful for is your support of my best and, if we're honest, worst ideas. There has never been any judgment or blame for a project gone wrong, only consistent support and guidance. My first experience with this was when Vaughn and I approached you about the idea of building an aquaponics system. Even though it didn't come to fruition, you were willing to let us try. And this sentiment has continued through many more wild ideas. The aquaponics greenhouse, grant proposals, me completing my PhD, special sessions and workshops at WAS, completing the aquaponics class and production manual, and many more. You gave me the space to pursue my ideas and helped shape me into a better researcher, writer, teacher, and mentor. You provided guidance and support through it all. I'm also very grateful for your forward thinking and open-mindedness. Without that, I have no doubt that the aquaculture program would not be as successful and diverse as it is. This program has allowed me to work in a field that I am passionate about and be close to my family and friends. That is truly a gift. I could go on, but I wanted to say a final thank you for creating the family-like environment that permeates the ARC. From Vicky holding a 1-week-old Vera while I took my final exam for your class, to welcoming us to your home for a laugh around the fire pit. I have made lifelong friends here, and for that I am forever grateful. I'll wrap it up by saying, while I won't see you at the office every day, I will try my best to continue your legacy here at KSU, not only as a top aquaculture program, but also as a place where people feel welcomed and valued. Enjoy this transition, and I look forward to many more nights around the fire pit.